Best part of the day. It's the morning cryptos. I just slobbered on myself. It's been quite a couple of days. Let's just get to it, people. Let's find out what's going on. The anticipation, the suspense is killing me. Start the music. All right. Well, we have Bitcoin here on the 1 hour chart, and it looks like we are having a little bit of a recovery over here. When they say buy the dips, this is not a dip, people. This is a valley. But it's okay. I think it's healthy. I think a lot of interesting things have happened, and I've learned some things. I was having a long conversation with my son, who is learning this right along with me and right along with you guys as well. And we were agreeing that, this was a test of a lot of what we're doing as far as a system. It's kind of like your first battle, right? It's like there's things that you can practice or things you can think about, but unless you're really put to the test, you don't learn it as well. And I learned a lot, and I will never, ever again lock in my profits at the top of a Bitcoin boost like this. I just didn't really know where else to do it, and I there's been a bunch of kind of scary rumors about U.S. dollar tether. I thought if I used that, the whole system would fall apart and I would be left with nothing. So U.S. dollar tether worked like a charm, and it's just the perfect little vehicle to step out of the market and then back in when you want. It's all about timing. And if you don't have a vehicle to time things with, it makes it really crazy. So this whole episode really locked into my brain a key fundamental learning that you got to have some place to take profits out to so that you can trade another day no matter what happens, right? That's one thing. And the second thing is, when I get my account back up to where it was, I'm going to start taking either once a week or once every other week or on some regular basis. I haven't finished deciding yet. I'm going to be taking a certain amount out, either into fiat, or I'm going to see if I can find some place where I can spend some of my cryptos in a healthy, constructive way. Just so that I have something tangible to hold in my hand, right? So those are some thoughts that I had in the midst of all the I just lost a huge chunk of my portfolio, but I'm back up to within about $4,000 of where I was. So the bloodletting seems to have stopped, although who knows, right? Who knows? So I think that's it for my preamble. Let's look and see what the Bitcoin price Googleizes at, and literally just a half hour ago it was below 15,000, so we're back up to 15,000. That's good. Looks like Coinbase had to shut down because of volume, and biggest fall of 2017. Blah blah blah. They have to have something to talk about, but the reality, this wasn't a big deal. Particularly wasn't a big deal for all the people writing the articles, unless they actually had money in the market, right? So it was a big deal for you and me, and we learned from it, and I think benefited from it. And that's the whole approach that I'm hoping to share with you guys. Now, in this chart this is a Bitfinex chart, and I don't trade at Bitfinex, but I like their chart. So it's a little below where the other markets are. Bitcoin's already above 15,000, according to Google. So that's cool. And that's the other thing with price arbitrage. If you know that it's trading at $1,000 premium someplace or $500 premium someplace, that might eventually, I might be able to know what to do with that. I don't yet. So anyway, Bitcoin is coming back. We're going to live. It's going to be a good Christmas. It's going to be okay. And let's go down the line. Bitcoin Cash, I am still not in the money yet. I bought in up here. There was a nice little sideways trading range, I think, on the 1 hour charts. And again, 1 hour sideways trading ranges are not as good as 1 day ones. But I think I got in somewhere around here, this little sideways thing here. So I'm not in the money on Bitcoin Cash. However, I'm thinking I will be soon. I'm not seeing any particular entry point here. I'm just watching it. I mean, if it makes a sideways trading range here, I might get in again at a lower spot, but I think I'm just going to hang on until I get to my even point, and then I'll either sell and take profits and then look to get back in at another time, another correction, or we'll take it from there. We'll see. Bitcoin Gold, I did something kind of fun yesterday, and I got to pull back to the 1 day chart. Oh, my beautiful lines disappeared. This is my favorite pattern, and it's on a 1 day chart. And whenever I have seen this pattern on a 1 day chart, the most recent one has been Ripple. Ripple was doing something very similar to this, where it was in this range and it was going up. And it was quite a wide range where if you got in here and rode it up, you could actually make profit just doing that, regardless of whether it popped, right? And then it came down to this fairly predictable line, and you could buy in again, and then it went up, right? So yesterday, I didn't buy down here. I bought pretty much right at this yellow line. And when it gets up to here, I'll either sell or I'll see where the energy goes. I may sell here, and if it comes then back down here, I'll buy again. And then if it pops, we'll see if it tightens. I'm looking for this pattern to kind of tighten, staying at the top, bottom's coming up. And that has been, for me, the moneymaker. And for what it's worth, I share it with you guys freely. And it works so much better on a 1 day chart than on a 1 hour chart, but it works pretty well on a 1 hour chart. I wouldn't probably anything less than a 1 hour chart, and I would want to see maybe 24 hours, at least 12 hours, right? And as I get more experience, I may adjust that. But that to me is one of the best things I learned. And everything was falling. And it was like, if I had had a war chest in US dollar tether, or even back at Coinbase in my US dollar wallet at Coinbase, it would have enabled me to snap up a ton of bargains at a really good price. But I didn't want to try to get into that frenzy because I would have had to sell something else to get to it, and everything was down. It just didn't work. So again, this opportunity, this correction, and if you think this is the biggest correction we're ever going to have, I think you're in for a surprise, because I think we're going to have corrections. It's just like with music. You're going to have loud sections and soft sections, right? You're going to have low sections and high sections. If you pluck a string, it goes back and forth. This is a vibration, and it's going to go back and forth. If it goes up, it's got to come back, and it's looking for that medium ground. And right now, it's just so volatile, and that's the best part about it. Without volatility, you don't get price swings. Without price swings, it's harder to make profits in the rapid way, somewhat rapid way that we want to make them. And you hear a lot of disparaging thoughts about, oh, these people just want to get rich quick. Yeah, because we have been impoverished for a long freaking time. All of us who are here doing this right now, every one of you want a better life. And that is, I'm so serious about that you want a better life. And the key to a better life, the key to your cage, to quote my own damn song, is learning how to trade these markets. Stay away from the Ponzi schemes. My buddy Mike was kind of investigating the Ponzi schemes back in July with me, because we thought, well, maybe we could trade them. Maybe we could get in and get out. Some people do. And every one of them failed. And he He took literally $10 and invested in a project called Chain Group, and he did a couple little things in there. And sure enough, yesterday, boom, gone, disappeared, gone. So the thing is, I know that at least there's a good chance that when I come back to this computer, this market will be here tomorrow. Bitcoin Gold will still be here, you know. Bittrex may go down, right? Binance may go down, but the market will still be there. And these are not complicated skills, people. These are learnable skills. And yeah, you also have to have some maturity as a human being. And if you don't get it, if you don't have it, you're going to get it by trading. So anyway, that's a little bit of my hypnosis of money philosophy. Deep thinking about this stuff, and man, I'm really grunky today too. Ha. All right, and let's move on. Dash held nicely. Don't you like Dash? I mean, Dash just freaking held. It dipped all the way down to 800, and you could have picked up some sweetly cheaply if you had a war chest, right? If you had some resources that were out of the market. And I could have too, but I didn't, and next time I will, right? So you got to learn this stuff sometime. I'm not embarrassed by the fact that, you know, I'd known about US dollar tether since the summer, but I just am, it's really just been in the last month that I've started actively trading, and it takes me a little while to get my feet going. Okay, so here on Dash, here's what I like, okay? We have, on the 1 hour chart, tops, and what do we have, people? A rising bottom. This, to me, that's a get-in signal. That's a get-in signal. Now, it's not a one-day chart, and it's not even 24 hours. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 18 hours. You know, maybe you could construe this whole thing as the pattern, but I'm liking this because it wants to go up. There's a little pressure holding it down, and there's now pressure from below. Boom. That's a good little get-in spot. I don't really buy Dash because I get it every day in my Genesis mining contract. So, but if you want to get yourself a little Dash, that's a buy signal. And of course, this is not to be construed as trading or investing advice. This is just what I would do if I were you and I had some money to spend. All right, that was Dash. Let's look at EOS. I'm going to go to the one-day chart before I even look at. Oh, this is EOS with Ethereum. Sorry, I'm not even looking at Ethereum and Bitcoin yet. I go through all the US dollar ones first and get my grounding because I still think in terms of US dollars, and that helps me with my analysis. Yeah. So EOS, hanging in. At one point, I was down pretty hard with my EOS, and I just hung on. Sometimes you just gotta hang on. Let's go to the 1 hour chart. Here, EOS is not. It's not that solid top thing, but it's definitely. We do have rising bottoms here on the 1 hour chart. We have a nice little micro trend. You could say, if you want to be creative, and you can because we're just making this shit up, that we have a double top, right? And it's testing it, and it should be interesting to watch. If I didn't have any EOS, if I wanted to get EOS, I might get in right now. I didn't want to buy on these big drops because I didn't know if it was going to drop more. And I wanted to see a couple... You know, I wanted to see a day of trading to see where it's going to kind of settle out because I wasn't in a position to buy anyway. So that gave me the luxury of just, I'm going to watch this. This is really my first big correction as a trader. And we need to have skills and tools and techniques to handle these events because it is reality. No matter what we want to have happen, shit's going to happen that we don't want, and it'll happen when we maybe least expect it. And you need to have just a series of responses so we can be response able, right? That's the whole idea. a series of responses that will keep us out of trouble and keep us safe. Because it's just, I keep thinking of the analogy of driving, you know. Every day we drive and a car comes literally just 2-3 feet away from us in the entire opposite direction. And we trust each other. We've learned how to do that, right? That's very dangerous. But we do it every day. This can be dangerous, and there is risk here. And all the institutional and regulational governmental people are always like, we're trying to keep the public safe. Well, you know what? The public needs to learn how to be safe, right? We're grown men and women. If we want to do dumb shit with our money, we should be allowed to, right? The truth is, they're saying that because they want to get in on every trade. They want a tax on every fucking trade. And that there's some lines in the new tax code that basically, when that code goes in place, we're supposed to literally report every trade and pay tax on every single trade. People, that's wrong, and it's dumb, and it's stupid, and we're going to fight it somehow. All right, I'm fired up, sort of. I'm fired up. The revolution. Tired of being told what to do by dumbass people who don't know what the hell's going on. Aren't you? Are you just tired of being told what to do all the time? I freaking hate it. All right, so let me stop blabbing for a minute. Look at Ethereum. You should get me talking later in the day too. I have even more to say as the day goes on. Again, we just have an upward recovery movement here in Ethereum, and I don't know if we actually did have a little tops here, and it looks like it's moving beyond that. So that's good. I think that's good news. I think it's healthy. I think we're doing okay. I don't know how much room Ethereum has to move, but we're on IOTA now, so let's change the focus. Okay. IOTA. I think I'm in the money again on IOTA. I think I got in on this little sideways trading range here. I could be wrong. Or maybe I got in down here. I don't remember where I got in. Where the hell? What's the date here? No, I didn't. I just got in here in this area. The other week. I think it was right in here somewhere. So I'm just about back to the money in IOTA, which is good because I think you could construe this whole thing as a sideways trading range. And, let's ignore the huge wick of the big drop. And, what do we have over here? We have, again, it's a one-day chart. One-day charts are so much better because, the trend is your friend. And when we have a sideways pause and you can get in kind of at the bottom of that, you have a lot of proof that the support is holding, right? That it's not going to drop below it. So that's why I like these, either a sideways channel and to try to get in here. Although sometimes on these, I'll just get it right in the middle. If it really wants to just keep coming back to the middle, I'll do that rather than miss the big boost that comes afterwards, right? And, if we put this into perspective, there was a long sideways range. But when you're down there, it doesn't actually look, it has so much more. It all depends on your perspective on the map. And these maps can screw up your perception. So you got to be careful as well. So I try to look at a bunch of different maps, charts. It is a map, essentially. It's a map. It's a map of the energy of the market. And if I stretch this out, and let's go to the 1 hour chart while I'm stretched out here. On the 1 hour chart, it looks a little different. See, this was a nice sideways trading range. I think this was the one I got in. Get rid of this big line here. I think this was the place I actually got in. Hold on, let me get you an arrow. Somewhere right like in here. as I recall. And I'm right in the middle of that range, but it was a range within a range, right? And now we have a much larger variational range. So, but it's almost right back to its kind of middle spot. And that's what I keep talking about. It's a tuning fork. And then something else strikes it, ding, 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 and then it's, right? So that's just how I'm thinking, people, and that's, hopefully you're interested in it. I sometimes think I'm talking too much, but people have been telling me that it's okay. So I just want to make sure you guys get some valuable information here, and that I don't skimp. I want to give you the real deal. If I'm going to teach you what I'm doing, I might as well teach you what I'm doing and not worry too much about whether I'm being entertaining. And I'm a performer, so I want to make sure it's interesting, but also vital to what you are looking to do. So let's go to Litecoin. Let's pull the 1 day back. Pull it back on the 1 day chart. We had a nice recovery. You could see some support here. And right now it's at another spot of kind of support and resistance, or just above it. Let's draw a little there. And then we have another line kind of in this area. Right? So I would be very happy if Litecoin just started doing a little bit of a sideways trading range, for the next 2 weeks during the holidays, right? Because that to me would lock in the price way higher than it was, but not crazy high, right? A price that seems to make sense, and then the people will get used to it, right? And then as more people come in, it will naturally go up, and hopefully in a steady up way. I like that. Let's look at a 1 hour chart and see how all this looks. I just went to 1 day again. People, if I can do this, you can do this, right? I'm such a doofus sometimes. And that's not self-criticism. I delight in the fact that I'm a doofus sometimes. I used to criticize myself for that, but now I'm like, you know what? I'm an amazing human being, and I'm deeply flawed, as all humans are. But I love myself. It's all good. And loving yourself is not being selfish. It's accepting who you are and being able to enjoy yourself and to realize there's always stuff to do, right? Always things to work on. All right. So Litecoin, it's going to be okay, people. It's all going to be okay. We're going to make it. We're going to make it through the holidays. There's Neo on Ethereum. Nice sideways trading range with Neo on Ethereum. If you just want to play with Ethereum, right now I'm really just going back. I'm going to trade on pretty much primarily the projects that hit US dollar tether, and the ones that don't, I'm just going to hold. I'm going to buy low, I'm going to buy a ton, and I'm going to hold. And we'll see how that works. Neo. Neo is one project that I was really wanting to buy when it crashed down, because I made a ton of money on Neo, but I just didn't have the money to buy it because everything else was down. So you can't get them all. And this one I missed. This one is one that people, whenever Neo is down or in these sideways trading ranges, get you some, right? It's a good project. And we've had a ton of them. I think I was able to get in on this sideways trading range down here. And I was able to, then I sold, and then I got in on this one. And then I sold. I might have gotten in on this one. I can't remember if I have any Neo or not, but I'll check later. If I did have Neo, I got in here. And so I should be in the money on that. Hopefully I got it here. Hopefully I didn't buy it at the top like a goofnik. Sometimes, sometimes I get hypnotized by, it feels like the prices are just going to keep going up forever, right? There's something in our mind that just goes, oh, this is just the way it's going to be. And that's always been a problem for me, because like I would get a big gig, a couple $1,000 gig or a client or whatever, and I would do that project, and then I was done, and there wasn't another one to replace it. It was weird. So you have to be aware of how the human mind has certain biases and certain tendencies. And sometimes they can defeat us, right? So that's part of why this is the hypnosis of money, because your mind is a big important part of your trading success. And anybody who says it isn't is a fool. I'm sorry. Pretty much every successful trader goes, yeah, it's usually me. I'm the one. I'm the weak link in the chain. You know, my attitudes and my emotions are the things that cause me to make dumb decisions. So that's the whole idea. Is we want to train ourselves to make smart decisions when there's pressure, when there's stress, when there's things going in the market in ways that we don't expect or don't want, right? And to go, okay, this is the next lesson, the next tuition. And this is you're paying tuition when you don't win or succeed on a trade, right? You're paying tuition. But you're the teacher and you're the student. They should teach this in college, but they won't. Omise go. Omise go. Nice recovery here. Let's see what's going on the 1 hour chart. That's a sweet little sign. See some green coming in here. You could say we're developing on the 1 hour chart a little bit of a double top. We got one here. That whisker could be construed as a top, and this one could be construed as a top. And we have rising bottoms. But again, that's kind of stretching it. That's not really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for things like, I don't know. It's a little closer. Let's play with this instead. And again, people, I'm just playing. This is not truth. This is just me going, what would it look like if I did that? Where are we in this move? Do we have this pattern, or am I just kind of overlaying my projection onto just a normal hourly rise? That's why I like a 1 day chart for this pattern. But we had rising bottoms and we had a couple of resistance points on the tops, and then it broke through and now it's moving up. So those to me are the entry points, right? When I have enough of a trend so that I can see where it wants to go, and enough resistance so that it's going to make a push. It's like you're pushing, and then it goes. And that's what an earthquake is, right? It's the two plates pushing against each other, pushing. There's friction, and then all of a sudden it moves. That's just energy, people, and it shows up everywhere in our world. Anytime you're doing anything physical, there's resistance and then release. So that's what I'm looking at. Man, I could talk. And it's just 7 o'clock now on a Saturday morning. Some people sleep in on Saturday. I can't wait to get up and do this. And then when you're doing something in your life that you can't wait to do, we're on quantum now. Sweet. I'm in at 52. This is my break even. Why did I get in at 52? Well, look over here. We had a nice sideways trading range. It was a little down, but I thought there was enough support here on these bottoms. This is what I saw. I saw kind of I got in there, and then I saw that we had these rising bottoms. So 52 is where I got in. That was a good entry point, right? That was a pretty good entry point. If it's kind of at the bottom of this particular chain here, boom, 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 I got in. But then unfortunately it went down. It seems normally it would have gone up. But not a bad place. Sorry, 52. Where's 52? Okay, close enough. 52-ish. All right, so that was why I got in there. And the beauty is it wasn't a bad place to get in, but then we had this external event. And it is climbing its way back. Higher bottoms. In this case, the tops are higher too. So quantum's looking good. Now, would I have liked to buy some down here at 28? Damn right I would have. And I could have if I had a war chest, right? So this whole thing for me, the big lesson, I gotta have a war chest. Gotta have some place where when shit happens, it's outside of these markets and it is easily liquid, easily accessible to get in and snap up the bargains. And this whole correction probably made me a ton of money in the future. All right, so quantum's looking good. Almost there, people. I'm just doing the biggies, just doing the main ones today. There's a ton of other ones, but you're going to have to do this, but do your own research, right? Monero also would have been a great time to get you some Monero, but it looks like we're coming back. And let's look at the 1 hour chart, see if we have any little buy indicators. Look, we had a little sideways pattern here, and obviously rising bottoms, right? Those are the things to look for. That would be a good place to get in, right? But it takes a little time to see the pattern develop. And by that time, you're with the trend, right? There is a trend here, and it's broken out, so it's not a bad entry point, like particularly right here in the point where it wants to leap. All right? Monero, pretty cool. Ripple was one of the ones that just bounced right freaking back. I had taken profits at 99 cents on this big boost the day before. Where's 99 cents? Right there. I had taken profits there. I got in here and I took profits there. And then I took profits again, or at that tippy top. I got out at 120 or 121. It was way up here. And then the whole thing dropped. And I literally, if I had a war chest, could have bought again. Bought right back in. Because Ripple, oh my God. Ripple never dropped below this support, which was only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days ago. That was only 9 days ago. And that was like crazy high. So Ripple, I don't like it because it's a bank coin. It's the coin of the banksters. But you know what? It evidently seems to work pretty well. And there's a ton of volume. You want liquidity. There's a ton of volume. And let's look at it right now. What do we have? Let's look and see if we can construe any wisdom on the 1 hour chart. I don't know if you can count these over there as anything. So let's just say we can't. Let's just start with the big drop, okay? Do we have support? I don't know. It's more like here, right? We have these tops that are generally kind of in the same same-ish place. And we have rising bottoms. And we were right at that point, people. The question is, does Ripple have the energy to go back up to 125? Was it just testing that? That's up to you to decide. I don't yet have my war chest built up. But just the way it popped right back up, just the way it had the energy to bounce right back, Ripple really showed what it's made of. And it tends to do these long sideways trading ranges on the 1 day chart. Like, look at this. This looks a lot like Bitcoin Gold right now. This was the original pattern. See if I can get it in the chart framed enough without that big wick. So, this was the big pattern that I kept seeing, and I can't do all of it, but we had steadily rising bottoms. And again, people, this is a very simple thing. I'm just going to leave the thing there so you get the idea. You know, and I didn't always get the best price, but when it comes down to the bottom of a channel like this, you know, you got to wait, though, until, you know, there's a bit of a channel. And then look what it did. Boom. Right? So over and over again, this pattern works. Let's see if I can adjust it a little bit. And of course, the chart is a little skewed just because we have a big long thing and a very small thing. And the other piece to keep in mind is these moves here that look so big. I mean, that looked like a big move, and it was between 14 cents and 29 cents, right? 14 cents and 29 cents. It looks like a huge move. And then when it does move, now it's between 30 cents and $1. Do you see how it's like the energy is compressing and then it releases? I think that's valuable information to know. And I don't see anybody talking about it, so I'm sharing it with you guys. So hopefully it's my Christmas and Hanukkah and Solstice and Kwanza present to you. So that's Ripple. Think what you want. I think it's a good project. If it makes me money, I like it. Zcash, that's against Bitcoin. Sorry. Zcash is one I've added because it's one of the 12 that you can use US dollar tether with. And I've started reading about it. It is a privacy coin, and I think it's right up there with Monero. It's interesting that two of the main projects are privacy coins, and Dash has some privacy aspects to it as well. I think that's going to be a big issue in the future because, you know, we want the same kind of flexibility we have with cash to do what we want to do without people being in our business. And honest people too, not just criminals. You know, it's really honest people are tired of giving most of their money to governments all over the world who mismanage it, who waste it, and who basically enslave their population. So we're in a revolution, people, and so far it's peaceful, and I want to keep it that way. But be aware, there is a revolution, and there are people out to get your money, and they look like the good guys, but they're really criminals. I'm sorry. Just watch The Dollar Vigilante. He says it much better than me, and I'm starting to agree with that guy, Jeff Berwick, that this is not something we can ignore. This is something we need to pay attention to and take action on in any small way we can. And so I like Zcash and I like Monero, and in the future, if I need a place to put profits, I might stick them in there. But again, and I was looking at Zcash. I almost bought down here. Almost bought, but I chose to stick with my disciplined program, and I went over to Bitcoin Gold instead. And we'll see if, you know, I may just pop out of Bitcoin Gold at the top of that channel and then see what else is going on. But Bitcoin Gold might make a big move. Who knows, right? It's building up some energy. So let's look at Zcash on the 1 hour chart. And we have a couple of little patterns here that, again, I'm just doing this. I'm beating a dead horse, people, because I want you to get this. This has made me so much money in the last couple of months. You know, and again, beginner's mind. Sometimes when you're new, you're in a place. You know, we have a little bit rising bottoms here. You know, if I was watching this all night, right, I would go, okay, it seems like it's stabilized, and now it wants to go up, right? That to me is a nice little recovery pattern. And I'm probably reading into it. It's probably not, you know, as good a pattern as I want. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4 hours there, and a 5th hour here where it pushed up against this and couldn't break through. And then we had 2 hours where it did. And then it came back down to support, which was higher, and away we go. So keeping an eye on this, and people, that is it for today. That's all I'm going to give you. If you want more, you have to get it yourself, because that's all I have time for. And I will continue to do this throughout the day. these are the main ones I watch, and then I have a ton of them over on Bittrex, and then I go also back and forth between World Coin Index and, by the way, I was checking out Vibrate. Vibrate yesterday was one of the two that were not down. So, and I'm a musician, so I'm going to look into them. I haven't had a chance to really dive into them, but I do. So World Coin Index and almost every coin has a little website link. So click those website links. Find out what the stuff is going on, right? So let's look what Vibrate's doing today. You know, and if I see something that holding its price in the midst of chaos, that gets my attention. But I'm not going to jump in right away. You see, it was up yesterday. But look again on this chart. What do we have? Long sideways trading range before it boosts. Look at here. We have a sideways trading range before it boosts. Those are your entry signals, people. And again, we don't buy when it's boosting because we're looking for where we're going to sell. You want to get in on these sideways things. And I think I made my point today. He said in a sideways manner. So World Coin Index, and the other one is Coin Market Cap. Coin Market Cap is the other one, and I try to go back and forth between these. And look, there's a lot of green today. People, that's not bad to have a couple of days of red, you know, and some green. And it looks like most of my stuff is coming back. Verge just really cranks. So these projects in the top 20, top 25, top 50, people start looking into them. Click on the damn thing. Look at what they are doing. Pay attention. You know, this is more important than anything you've ever learned in your life. Treat it as such. And World Coin Index is so... Oh no, this is Coin Market Cap. Really slow right now. Okay, fine. All right, so anyway, that's the idea. That's what I do all day, every day, and I try to share with you stuff that I've learned. If you guys want more, let me know what else you want, and I'll see if I can find a way to deliver it that works for me and for you. Salt is up. Everything's recovering. So we had ourselves a nice little Christmas crash, and we survived, and hopefully we will go up from here. And as I start taking profits, I'm going to build me a war chest, people. Start building your war chest. Start building your backup system to take advantage of market reversals. That's it. That's a big lesson for today. Hope you learned it. I learned it, and I really appreciate you guys. And let's go back to Bitcoin, Mama Papa Bitcoin, and see. Look at that. It's approaching 15,000 again. Let's get back up where it needs to be. I would like a nice solid trading range around 18,000. That way I could get out of Bitcoin. And I'm only going to buy Bitcoin now on these dips. I'm not going to put anything into it. I'm not going to trade into it other than a momentary into Bitcoin and out of Bitcoin into something else if there's no other way to buy something. So that's my new trading strategy, and I've shared it with you, and I think I've done good. I think this is good, people. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Solstice, Happy Kwanza, Happy New Year coming up, and if you like this, I really appreciate it that you're subscribing, and there's a lot of new subscribers, and thank you guys, and those thumbs up really, really help. So it's one little thing you can do to change the world. Give me a thumbs up. It changes my world tremendously, and I appreciate it. Peace, grooviness. I bow to the divine within you and all that stuff. Groovy, groovy, grooviness. And jingle groovy. I think that's it. Can't think of anything else to say, although I probably could if I tried. So let's start the music. I'll see ya in the next one. Go ahead, start the music. Really, start the music. Thanks.